Ladies and gentlemen, put a one in the chat if y'all can hear me. Put a one in the chat if you can hear me. We back in this thing, Black Men Unfiltered Networks, flipping tables. We're about to flip a table tonight. We back. Happy New Year to everybody. We miss you guys. We love you guys. We had to do this hiatus thing because the kids have got to be there for the kids, right? So do I sound clear? If I sound clear, put it in there. Now, guys, if you want to join the show tonight, feel free to do so. This is a panel for women and men. If you want to join, I have a very special guest tonight, man. My brother from another mother. You guys will see him in a second. But I just want you to come do some house cleaning first before we get started on this subject tonight. Tonight, we will be discussing Pastor Jamal Bryant and how he's, in most words and most I've heard today, possibly prostituting out his wife, or if that's not the word you want to use, I'll have some people up here that may want to use that language even further as we get started. But I do want to say, guys, that we Happy New Year. We love you guys. If you guys want to give to the channel, go ahead and do so by you see the super chats down there. Go ahead and hit a super chat. Buy your boy a cup of good old tea. And also, if you want to give by Cash App, because sometimes that is easier, you could definitely give the Cash App that's scrolling at the bottom of the screen, and I would appreciate it very much. So, all right, man. So tonight we're gonna have a good show. I am not going to behold the time any longer because, man, like I said, I got some guys in here, a guy in here tonight, man. That's going to be it's going to be over. You guys might as well get ready. But we got Darwin in the building tonight. I want to bring Darwin up because, man, if you don't watch Darwin's content, I mean, you're a hater. You're a hater. If you're not watching his different steps, he's doing part one, part two. I was scrolling down the other day. I was like, damn, Darwin, you did one, two. I gotta find three. But man, pay attention to the content, man. This is a married man. This is a man who has done it right and did it and got what he needs to get out of life. He's married. He has children. He's doing the damn thing. He's a great content creator. And I want to bring him up tonight because he's going to help co-host this thing with me tonight. Y'all put y'all damn hands together for the one and the only. All right. Ain't but one of these guys. Okay. All right. And if you're not, I'm going to let him do his thing when he come up here and tell you how you can reach him and how you can, support him. But the one and the only, my brother from another mother, man, give up for Darwin.
What is going on? Appreciate that, BMU. How you making it, man?
Man, I am making it good, man. How's the fam, my brother?
Family is good, man. We had a great year end, holidays.
Hmm.
We gonna
Okay.
mix it up a little bit this year. Me and the wife gonna try to get a show going. Uh, Other than that, man, I appreciate you bringing me up here, man.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Somebody's asking for the link. Give me just a second. So what? So tell people while I'm doing this. Tell people how they can reach you.
If you want to reach me, you can shoot me an email. I answer all my emails. If you want to stay connected with me on a 24-hour basis, I have a community group on school.com. It's free. And if you want to be a part of the inner circle, there's resources in there that allow you to get access to that. But that's how you can reach me. I'm on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and of course YouTube as Darwin McPherson. So check me out.
Absolutely, man. I appreciate you, brother. Again, guys, if you want to come in tonight, you want to be a part of the channel. I see my brother, What We Know podcast in the building. Went ahead and gave his $5 already, man. Listen, thank you so much for What We Know podcast, man. Looking forward to seeing you tonight if you can make it. I'm gonna go ahead and pin this link to the top of the chat so you guys can absolutely come up because I know somebody just asked me for that. So give me just a second. But darling, man, there's a lot been going on in celebrity world lately, man. Um, and I just want to ask your thoughts, before we get deep into the conversation, man. What are your thoughts about Jamal and what's going on with his wife?
Well, first of all, I'm typically hands off when it comes to people and their wives because
Hmm.
I draw a border between having a heavy critique or scrutiny against what a man does in his household with his wife, with his kids and stuff. I like to get those people autonomy over how they run their household, how they run their life, and how they operate. But if I do sense or I'm able to uncover a correlation between the principles and standards that we live by, then, you know what I'm saying, I can have something to say on it. I haven't really studied Jamal Bryant that much, but I do know he's supposed to be a God-fearing man who runs a church and is affiliated
Mm,
with the Christian religion. So there is a lot of correlation. And I just think that he is more like one of those liberated pastors. You know,
hmm
pastors
hmm
that are conservative, they're traditional, and they kind of continue what we're used to and what our expectations set for us as far as anticipating how they're going to behave and operate outside the church. Jamal Bryant is just a different person, and I don't think the church community, specifically the Black church community, is prepared for these type of changes or new ways of operating as a man of God. And you're just gonna have a lot of people that's just gonna come out to try to police him.
hmm
And I'm curious to understand, you know, what was going on in his mind when he made the decision on a lot of the things that he's made these past decided to do these past 2 years. But I think this conversation is gonna be interesting.
All right, now I'm gonna bring up. I see TJ in the back, man. Thank you for being here. I'll bring it up in a second. I want to play the video. Have you heard the clapback after all the scrutiny that his wife took for that dress?
No, but let's hear it. Let's see it.
All right, so this is the dress. We'll put the dress up here first. So, guys, this is the dress. Now, when you see this dress, I mean, as a man, right? I heard Bishop Wooten, another pastor, say, when you see this dress, you're not thinking about about Jesus. You're definitely not thinking about the Lord when you see this dress. That dress is. I mean, what do you think, Darwin? I mean, your thoughts.
Speaking on it, it looks like it's a lot of look like it's very revealing for I'm gonna just assume she's a first lady. It's very
Hmm
revealing for a first lady. It's an attire that a lot of churches traditionally speak against in terms of modesty.
hmm
So for him to have the audacity, for them two to have the audacity to be able to step out like that, is almost like some type of hypocrisy. So he's gonna
Mm,
have to answer to that. But I will say, just taking another look at the fabric and the material. Typically, these type of dresses is more of the see-through, and a lot of women these days actually pull it all the way through, meaning they actually have a see-through dress on. But I don't think that this dress specifically is that type. I think it's the color nude or the color of her skin.
hmm
It doesn't give you the full see-through. I think there's some type of texture under the black lining
hmm
texture
Yeah.
that's keeping her real skin and her parts concealed.
Now he had a lot to say, but I'm gonna play just a little clip of it, not the whole thing. But he had a lot to say about the people who said something about his wife's dress. This is a little clip of it. Here we go. Then I'll bring up the other people in the back. Here we go.
It's all right for you to be anointed as long as you don't look like nothing. As long as you look like 12 years a slave, they think you holy. But if you got your hair done, nails done, toes done, y'all ain't saying nothing, smelling good, then immediately church Negroes will make up that you're sleeping with somebody, you prostituted yourself, you played yourself cheap. They don't understand. I got a real sugar daddy, and I will look to the hills from whence cometh my help. My help cometh from the Lord. I needed to get this straight. I needed to deal with it head on, because the other day the internet went crazy about a dress my wife had on. Now, they didn't say anything about the $4 million that was raised for the United Negro College Fund. They never mentioned that she prayed until heaven came down. They never said anything about this was the largest fundraiser for for HBCUs in the country. But insecure, jealous, petty, small-minded people got in their feelings and set up a false barometer of holiness based off of a dress. Now you got to help some people because some people have embraced the full knowledge of ignorance without any assistance for understanding.
All right, all right, all right. That's just a little of it. We're not gonna play the whole thing, but I do want to welcome up everybody to the stage right now. Give it up for yours truly, TJ through the Fire Podcast in the building tonight. Anissa, what's up, beautiful girl? I ain't seen you. I've seen you since multitude
Hello.
of what's going on,
Happy
bed?
New Year. Happy New Year.
Same to you, same to you. And Darwin's in the building, man. I also have another special guest. I have my cousin in the building tonight. She is also a first lady, so we'll get a first lady's perspective on
Okay.
the show tonight as well. We have Miss Nikki in the building, First Lady Nikki McFarland in the building tonight. All right, her husband is the man. He's the chief. All right, he's a pastor. He owns a funeral home. He's an alderman. He's on the student. He does everything. School board. Listen, the man is out everywhere. And when you see him, you see her. When you see her, you see him. They do everything together, man. Give it up for my cousin, First Lady Nikki McFarland's in the building tonight. What's going on, cuz? Are you muted? So if you can you hear us? Can you hear me, Nikki? Yeah, you got to unmute it. Hold on, I'm gonna text her. But anyway, so it's good to see everybody in the building tonight. I definitely want to get into this conversation. Darwin had his perspective on what he thought. I want to get a woman's perspective. Anissa, what are your thoughts after seeing this
Yes.
debauchery?
Can you hear me, first of all?
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah,
Can you hear me? Okay.
yeah.
Well, the first thing I want to say is that I thought that in and of itself, I thought she looked absolutely beautiful in the dress. Like Dr. Carey is very fashionable. I thought the dress was gorgeous, and I thought she looked amazing in the dress. The second thing I want to say is I think you definitely have to understand who you're dealing with when you're talking about Jamal Bryant. He's a very, I guess I would say, liberal, new age pastor. He definitely doesn't follow the old school rules, as you know, he said in his commentary. And there's also if you know his history, you would probably understand why he would make this choice for her. And his previous wife was Giselle, who's on one of the Real Housewives franchises. And there is an exact, almost exact dress that Giselle is wearing that when her and Jamal were going somewhere. It's almost the exact same outfit, except hers was a jumpsuit that was a pair of pants. So I would venture to say that this is more a Jamal um, thing than it's necessarily the women. As he stated in his commentary, he bought the dress. Um, he purchased that for her. So that's what he wanted his wife to be in. That's what he wanted her to be seen in. And he was absolutely comfortable with the choice. Obviously, she was as well. It was not a see-through dress. There's a flesh tone lining that the dresses are in now, so which is what she had, which gave the illusion. I guess that's what some people had an issue with, is just the illusion. I thought some of the placement of the lace was quite suggestive, and maybe that I could see people having an issue, with that. But overall, I thought the dress was beautiful. I think she looks amazing in it. I can see why people had something to say about it, but Jamal said that's his wife. He bought it for, and that's what he wants her to be in. And um, she's not ever going to be 12 Years a Slave or The Little House on the Prairie as a first lady. I think maybe more appropriate if the dress had just been solid black. It still would have been equally as gorgeous. But you know, that's it.
I will say this. All right. And then I'll get you in here, TJ, to cook too. I will say this though. You know, as a man, you know, I'm always gonna keep it unfiltered, ladies and gentlemen. As a man, when you look at that woman in that dress, I ain't thinking about praying.
Right.
And say for instance, there are some women in the church who are having issues with their husband or having issues in relationships, and they want to go to a woman who they want to go to the first lady of the church and talk about, or the husband has an issue with his wife and they want to go to the first lady of the church to get some advice about modesty or about how his woman is dressing and he don't like the way. You can't go to her. She's going, I mean, because her outfits that she wears out is encouraging women to wear those things. I believe that, you know, I believe that what you wear, because modesty, like if we now, and my thing is this, we're gonna start breaking the rules of the church. We need to break all of them. Because, you know, back in the day, I remember my aunt, which Nikki right here, the first lady Nikki right here was in church. Me and her families, her mom and my grandmother are sisters. And we grew up where the older women pull you to the side and say, cover that thing up. Don't have them breasts out. What you doing? Right? You had women constantly checking women in the church. And I think now, man, it's just we're just in a different impasse. I think that, you know, we're just able to right now we just feel like people want to do what they want to do. But I want to get everybody else in here and get their thoughts. TJ, I'm gonna come to you, then I'm gonna go to Nikki. TJ, what are your thoughts about the whole situation, brother? I know you've been following it close.
Can you hear me well?
I can hear you very well, sir.
Okay. All right. Likewise, also the woman shall adorn themselves in respectable apparel with modesty and self-control, with no braided hair or gold or pearls or costly attire, but with what is proper for a woman who professes godliness with good works. I don't give a damn what so-called Pastor Jamal Bryant calls himself. We got a lot of wolves walking around here pretending and hustling God's word. The Bible also talks about that, you know, there will be many that will come in his name. This is not funny. This is not to be played with. But we sit around here and we act like this is okay because it's 2026. When God comes back, when Jesus comes back, what the hell are you going to say to him? What the hell are you going to say to him? It's 2026. This is how we do it now. This is the new standard. From my understanding, the standard hasn't changed. The standard hasn't changed. And we sit around here and we have all these different kind of debates and conversations, especially centered around Black folk. And we sit around here and we excuse every single bit of debauchery that's going on. I'm not a prude, but the one thing I do not want is my pastor and his wife. And I'm glad I go to a church that, and this is no disrespect to anybody else's structure, I'm glad I go to a church that we don't identify the pastor's wife as the first lady. Because what does that say about every other lady in the damn church? That they're somehow second to that woman? They're not. But we go around and we excuse this mess and we follow this mess. What is the makeup of Pastor Jamal's church? Do you think it's 70% female? Was it all those women up there clapping and praising the hyena class doing that with this? If you don't want nobody to treat your woman like she's a whore, then you don't hold her out to be one. I don't care what kind of gala it is. You are a representation. When we decide to come up under the shepherdship of a pastor, we expect him to lead us in the way that we're supposed to. Not what makes us feel good, but the way it's supposed to be. And all I'm sitting there doing when I'm looking at this new color dress, and God bless her, all I'm doing is looking at all of those lines going directly to her coochie, and I'm wondering, can I take a run at this woman? Am I wrong? Did I miss something? I don't give a damn how gorgeous she looks.
We getting everybody takes or it's open.
No. Yeah, you could. I'm gonna get everybody to take first, then we'll open it up. So I'm gonna get First Lady Nikki's in the building. First Lady, as a First Lady, I think did you order the dress, First Lady? Because I don't know if you ordered it yet or not. But no, thank you for being here, Nikki. What are your thoughts on the dress?
First, first of all, the title of First Lady, yes, in my church, the tradition is to call the pastor's wife the First Lady. But before I was the First Lady, I was Sergeant Wade. I was Coach Wade. So a title don't really mean a lot. It's just a tradition. You call your grandma Gigi, Mimi, Granny. We called our grandma Dear, but it's still a grandmother. It's based on your preference and your tradition. That's still your grandma, no matter what the title is. All right, let's get that straight. All right. As far as the dress is concerned, the problem that I have with a lot of the church folks, as long as it look right, then it must be holy and it must be sanctified, as long as it fit a certain description. But when you've been out in the world where I've been, child, that's far beyond the truth. I could tell you some stories. I could tell you about the sexual assaults that occurred in the military. And we ain't got on no hoochie dress. So let's get the record straight. Stop using that 2 Timothy. That's dealing with the church environment. Modesty relates in all types of forms. And please don't talk to me about modesty if you walking around, if you ever had your ear pierced, you wear makeup, you get your nails done. These men in these suits or whatever the case is with the glitter, shiny shoes. Don't talk to me about modesty because we all done broke the modesty code. Being on social media is worldly in itself. Now, her dress was beautiful. I don't care what nobody say. Maybe because I've been to several events, and when you see those dresses up close, you can very much tell that it is a lined dress. I've worn dresses with my shoulders out. If I could wear shorts to serve my country, then I dang sure could wear my shoulders out if I choose to and I please. It has nothing to do with my salvation. It has nothing to do with my love for God, my commitment. My work is what I want to be known for. I would go days without even taking a bath or a shower. But on Sundays, we still would find our way to a dusty tent and have praise and worship. Well, that was some of the best church service we ever had. We was dusty and dirty. It had nothing to do with no dress code. But we get caught up with the illusion. Everybody's like, oh, it was the illusion that she naked. But what I can't stand is an illusion of a sanctified person. You got some faults. We all got some faults. So you can't just take her one thing that you look at as a fault, because from my understanding, the woman prayed her soul out. But because her dress didn't fit the code, then we want to judge her. Hold on, baby. No, get him. So, baby, because it fit the dress code, we feel like it's okay. I know some devils in some dresses that go down to your ankle, and I know a whole bunch of devil demons that wear suits. So we have to stop getting on there what called a whore. A whore don't have a look. That's the one thing we have to understand. A whore don't have a dress code. Y'all have to stop being one-sided and looking lopsided on that stuff. Your illusion of being perfect is what's disturbing, because ain't nobody on this conversation perfect. And yes, I know the first lady and a pastor wife title is not biblical. It's not even in the Bible. So for the people to say what she's supposed to wear, all women, we supposed to all be on the same level technically, because that role isn't even in the Bible. Only 2 people are called. Those are deacons, pastors / bishops, whatever that title want to be. But we all know that's the leader of the church. Lady Mac signing out. God bless.
All right. Hey, Lady Mac got hers out. Okay, so we got one more. We got R Payne in the building tonight. R Payne, but before you go, R Payne, let me get this out the way real quick. We got, let me see, where did it go? Oh, there it is. I got it. We got a $20 super chat from Prince Antoine. Thank you, man. He always supporting the channel, man. Thank you so much, my brother. He said some places of worship are pushing the envelope so much that they'll find a way to justify burning the 10 commandments. All right, thank you so much, Prince, for the $20, man. I appreciate it. All right, we got R Payne in the building. R Payne, what's going on? He's the boomer in the building tonight.
Hey, you know what's up? Happy New Year, everybody on the panel.
Same to you, brother.
I'm mad at you. You don't even come visit me no more on my show, so I got a bone to pick with you. But anyway, I don't have nobody to beat up. But listen, To tell you the truth, I knew it was just like a new colored dress. I really, really don't have an overwhelming problem with the dress myself. But the pastor himself is laced with hubris. He has excessive pride and his willfulness. He bought that dress for everything that's happening right now. Right? It's like one of those kind of things. He knew that he would get this kind of attention by putting that dress on his wife and objectifying her. And even though to tell you the truth, it's okay. I mean, I could tell right away that it wasn't her skin, and even though all those nice little arrows were pointing to a hoo-ah, until you said it, TJ, I wasn't even thinking about that. But yeah, I said, yeah, if I had to look somewhere, that's not a bad place to look. But anyway, listen, but I didn't have a real problem with her as much as I have with him being such a false prophet. As a man, is he even interested in women? He was pretty enamored with Cam Newton's legs. I don't know,
man.
Oh man,
and they lanolated.
Man, listen, I'm back working out.
Well,
butter, jerky.
Oh, you see that?
You got pretty legs, man.
Oh man,
and they lanolated.
Man, listen, I'm back working out.
You put shea butter, jerky.
Oh, you see that?
They glowing in the dark.
I'm just nourished.
Zoom in. Do not skip leg day.
Don't do that.
Do not do that.
Sometimes you got to remind people, like, it's okay, but the work has to be done.
Oh, listen, it's evident. It pays off.
You know what I'm saying? I'm back eating right, trying to live right.
Yes.
I done purged my tongue since last speaking with you.
Yeah.
So I don't curse no more. I try not to curse no more. I had a flare up the other day, but who's keeping count?
I'm not.
Other than that, man.
So I'm not going to be long-winded about it. I mean, women are women these days, and they make their own way. I'm not tripping over her dress. Is it a little bit more revealing? Well, let me tell you, she can't put on anything without looking curvy anyway. I don't give a shit what she puts on. Those curves are going to pop out.
She is curvy. Yeah.
So I mean, with all the titties and ass that we see, I'm like a doctor. This shit don't even faze me no more. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's all hanging out there. I mean, are we really getting kind of warm because we see a curvy woman? Women are naked all over the goddamn place. So I don't know, man.
All right, now we're gonna open this thing up because because I want to hear what everybody has to say. I know Darwin was sitting there. He was asking, was it open? It's open now for a conversation. Darwin, do you have any disagreement with anybody on the panel? And we can just have this conversation.
I mean, I did. I kind of lost track of. I know TJ said a few things that I just wasn't. It just didn't make logical sense to me, but I kind of lost it. But I will say this. To First Lady's point, she do have a point that the dress code at which, or the archetype or the type of person we're trying to attach to the First Lady dress code is kind of phased out, because what the hooker or the sex worker, I can say that I'm thinking I'm on TikTok, what they usually typically wear to identify somebody who's promiscuous or selling their body, it's blurred now. Women dress like that all the time, and it doesn't necessarily associate with, hey, look, I'm free, my legs are open. And my question is to anybody who think it's inappropriate, what is she supposed to wear when she goes to the beach? Because I would make the argument that a beach bikini and a top is way more revealing than what she had on. It's a First Lady, so that means that the First Lady is banned or prohibited from going to the beach because of the beach attire. You hear what I'm saying? I mean, have you been to the beach lately? I'm talking about it's amplified since the liberation of how you dress. So
it would literally be against the law for her to wear. It'll be against the law for her to wear a bikini, a two-piece bikini.
She can't even wear one piece.
It's against what law?
I said it should be if she were to wear that. I mean, that's a lot of woman in that bikini.
Okay.
It'll be a lot of women in one piece too.
The third thing I want to mention, and anybody can interrupt or ask questions if they want. The third thing I want to mention is, even when a woman wears that, regardless of her title, I think what it does is it exposes the uncontrollable appetite of a man who cannot discipline himself beyond his eyes. If you can't look at a woman, especially somebody's wife, if you can't look in that direction and police your own lustful desire, then that's a you problem. Because when I looked at the picture, I didn't automatically jump to I want to smash. I jumped to, okay, I see he got his woman out there. She's stunting, but I never, my brain never, went to the seat of my pants, trying to imagine what I wanted to do with his wife. So I think that's a discipline issue that every man is going to have to tackle it, because the way women dress in society is just going to keep evolving. They're going to be less revealing. You're going to have to, work towards some type of understanding of how things are today. And if you can't do that, you're going to be a predator, and unintentionally. You're going to have a predator type mindset unintentionally, because you can't filter out that lustful thought that comes to your mind when you see a woman who's more revealing.
Darwin, we're not talking about a woman or a couple or an ideal that's just regularly of the world. This is a man and a woman that's supposed to be leading and shepherding something higher than that. So the standard is different. We might not like that the standard is different. The standard is different. And for them to not really understand that, or to scoff at it, I find that diabolical to a degree. Do I think she should walk around in a knapsack? No. My lady is a very, very curvy lady. Ain't no way in God's green earth she'll walk outside like that. Regardless, I knew it was nude the first time I saw that it was nude tone the first time I saw the picture. I got a curvy woman. But ain't no way in the world, she will be out there like that. And you're talking about the practical application is the practical application that a man should just, it's a him problem. No, she's putting her husband at risk problem by that, because the practical reality is, Darwin, there's a lot of brothers out here that don't practice self-control, that will look at her in that situation and believe and think that woman is available regardless if she's married or not. Just looking at her, she doesn't, and that's the reality of the situation, that they're holding themselves out to be a certain way. And I heard him say about the fact that, she was praying. Good for her.
TJ, I got one for you though. Does it matter that he bought her the dress?
To him first, but you can go. But
I just want to ask him that one question. Does it matter that he bought her the dress?
Yes, it matters that he bought her the dress.
I'm saying, based on the protectionism that you think that she's losing for him by dressing like that, does it matter that
it matters?
And in what way?
It matters because there's something wrong with that man. That he would want to invite that kind of scrutiny into his world, into his house, and invite these predators out here. Now, can you stop somebody who wants to be?
Regardless.
Can I please finish? First lady, can I finish?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
You can't stop a predator from being a predator. I'm not saying that you can't stop a predator from being a predator, but you don't have to invite them in either. And there's nothing wrong with a woman wearing a nice dress that has a figure that she can't hide. I keep saying I got a woman who's shaped pretty close to her. But we're not out here trying to lead a church, lead a congregation, lead souls, minister to people. We're not out here trying to do that. We're not out here talking to I wasn't called, he was called. He was called.
Yeah.
And based on his calling and based on what I know what the word to be, I don't give a damn about this being 2026. His standard is Jesus' standard. It ain't his standard, whatever he decided to be, or how. I don't care what the hubris or he going out buying it. He's out of order. He's completely, utterly out of order.
Well, here's the thing that we can't. What we're doing is putting the cart before the horse. We're asking somebody to maintain some type of order when the entire church has embraced disorder.
Yes.
For example, people have the audacity to scoff at a woman's dress. But I guarantee you, if you poll the audience or people who have a disagreement, an overwhelming majority of those people embrace same-sex marriage within the church. But we have the audacity to talk about a dress when we're literally participating in abominations. So it just, when you talk about a standard, you got to kind of tread lightly over that because it's kind of been fragmented. There is no standard.
No, there's no standard that we are living by. There is a standard.
Nobody living by no standard in the walls of no church today. Not in 2026.
I mean, what is the standard? Where is the standard outline? Tell me what is the standard? And you talk about the predators, but I work in the school environment, and predators come after children. And I promise they ain't dressed in no inappropriate manner.
Predators don't care about how you dress. Predators are predators.
So thank you for saying.
So if they don't care about how you dress, it doesn't matter if she wears a dress. Last time I checked, a predator that wants a woman, he gonna come out after her, regardless if she got a
dress. Like you guys not hear me just say that 30 seconds ago. I said a predator is gonna be a predator. You're not gonna be able to stop a predator, but you don't have to put out, hey, come get me sign. Well, you don't have to do that. I can't stop a thief from wanting to kick my door in. But I don't have to leave the door unlocked with it wide open with a neon flashing light saying, come get free stuff.
Well, if you got a means of protecting it, it doesn't matter if anybody steps up.
I'm just saying.
Step down.
I'm just saying, Darwin.
The important part you missing
we are accepting because we have decided to fall back from some kind of standard that Jesus wants us to live by, that somehow that's okay because we decided, well, the standard is evolving, times are evolving, that's okay.
But did Jamal push the narrative? Hey, look, it's okay for all y'all wives to dress like this, and this is what I want to push in the church.
That I don't. He pushed the narrative by going out.
Let somebody else respond too today. You've been talking.
Right. Tell me, Mr. TJ. So do you think women should wear pants in the church?
Do I think women should wear pants in the church?
Yeah, because I remember when I was growing up, that was a thing. We didn't wear pants in the church.
What this woman is coming out dressing like is a far quite different than a woman wearing pants in the church. I grew up with women wearing pants in the church.
You don't care about it being 2026, but when I grew up in the 80s and the 90s, women did not wear pants in the church. Now we do wear pants in the church. We wear pantsuits. You don't care about it being 2026. So what I'm asking is, do you think that you should not have evolved to women not wearing pants in the church?
Pants in the church is modest.
No,
you're not out here. You're not out here.
Listen, TJ, if you go back to when they held the line and the reason why pants were prohibited, it wasn't modest. You had people back in those days that frowned upon on it, and it was just as equally distasteful as that dress back.
So why don't we just tell women they can come to work?
What the first lady is exposing, it's sort of like what I alluded to when I was talking about how the society evolves and people start accepting and lowering the standard within the church. So now that they lowered the standard, the question is, at how far are you going to lower it?
That's devolved. The church is devolved into bullshit. It's not an evolution; it's a devolution. It's going down.
That's the point.
And so let's use the proper words. It's not an evolution.
The church is going down. To me,
evolution is the actual term. It's change over time.
I hear you, but you know what I mean, then.
We came from off the plantations. We're not on the plantations anymore.
Ain't got nothing to do with no.
We're not on the plant. Oh, it doesn't.
Yeah.
You want me to give you a spiel on church traditions that came from the plantation?
That your mom.
One of them is holding up this finger right here to tip out the sanctuary. That was a sign where the slave would throw that finger up to get his master's attention to get permission to leave out of the church to go to the restroom. Then he would have to come back and raise his finger up to come back into the church to let him know, hey, I didn't run away. That's factual.
Okay, so what does that have to do with today?
And I could go on and on. I could go on and on about the evolution of the church.
What does that have
We're
to do with today?
and we're more educated now. Our interpretation of the word has evolved. We're not on the plantation where we're trying to memorize scriptures and go off what's up. We have our own intellect. Okay. We have our ability to read and comprehend the word for ourselves. And we see things.
Could be wrong.
So I want to do this real quick, guys. Let me play. Bishop Wooten had a response to
say something first. Let us say something first.
Oh, go ahead, Anissa. Go ahead.
I did. I just had a quick something. I will have to say about Dr. Carey. I have, because I do follow her and Jamal, I have never seen her inappropriately dressed in church. All the pictures and never her wedding. I think she had 3 dresses or whatever. None of those dresses were revealing at the wedding. I have never seen her inappropriately dressed. She's always, totally covered. But my question is, especially in these spaces now, you all love that word submission. You submit to your husband. Whatever he says, do, that's what you do. You do what your man says. You follow him. So if her husband came home and he like he said, I bought the dress. They didn't go 50-50 on the dress. He bought the dress. That's what he wanted her to wear. And he said, baby, I bought this for you. I think you're going to look fabulous in it. This is what I want you to wear to the event. Was she supposed to submit to her husband? Or are you saying that she should have said, absolutely not, I'm not wearing that dress? I'm just curious. Anyone who wants to, any of the men who want to answer.
That's a good question because she's cooperating with her husband. And her husband wants her to look a certain way, right? And she embraced.
And he specifically said that. That's how he said, if you want a little house on the prairie, and 12 years a slave, you're not going to get that at this church. He said, this is how I wanted her to look, and this is my wife, and I'm happy with it.
And then you worry about it, but you were the first group out here talking about that when you're out and about that you're not being protected because somebody then saw this or saw her out of pocket or away from her husband, and that woman gets accosted verbally or whatever the case may be.
But TJ, I think what we're saying and pertaining to this particular woman, anytime Dr. Carey's going to be out, unless she is in a muumuu, she's going to get hollered at. She's just that girl.
A lot of women are going to get.
She's just that girl. So I don't think that that's his primary concern. Because
I don't think she's going to wear that out either.
You're going to see how bad and how she's arranged naturally.
I don't assume that she would dress like that away from her husband either, unless somebody got any evidence. Yeah. Or any footage of her dressing in that kind of manner away from her. Damn, let me. Oh, go ahead, man.
No, go ahead, Norm. Go ahead, Norm.
I mean, I just try to get the thought off. You might want to clip it up, but what I'm saying is, I don't think she. And I understand him saying whenever a woman get out on her own and she pumping gas or something at night, somebody gonna try to violate her based off how she dressed. Based off of this debacle, I don't see any indication that she would continue to dress like this after that night at that level away from him. And I haven't seen any indicators or image or proof that she has the tendency to dress like this when he's not around. So the assumption that she's going to not be around him dressed like that is a stretch.
No, I wasn't making
now, TJ, before you go, TJ, let me say this real quick. For me, it's hypocrisy. Let me tell you why. And I know a lot of people, this ain't going to be sexy, but I'm just going to say what's on my mind. It's hypocrisy. Because if you follow Jamal Bryant, like Anissa says she follows his wife, if you follow Jamal Bryant from years of him preaching, like I have, and I've actually seen him at Friendship West here in Dallas, Texas, actually come and preach a revival and all this thing, just being around these pastors, and you follow them. If you follow him, he's had sermons where he talked about how women dress in the church. He even said in the sermon, matter of fact, I got it right here.
Every brother, would you tap another brother and say, I should have listened to her? God help me. Old saints, y'all forgive me, but I got to tell you, these hoes ain't loyal.
He has if you want to go listen to that sermon, just go look up These Hoes Ain't Loyal and listen to the sermon. He talks about promiscuous women, how they dress, how they risque, how they come into church to tempt men and the clothes that they wear. And I'm thinking, okay, now Jamal, that you married, because Jamal ain't always like risque, right? Because I remember Jamal Bryant, like I said, you've been following him. I remember Jamal Bryant when this happened. Where is it at? I think I got it right here. Let me see. I got it here somewhere. I'm gonna find it, but I have it where he.
While you looking for it, I got a question for you.
Yeah, go ahead.
Was he talking about the women on how they dress when they enter the church, or was he talking about women how they dress outside of the church? Because
No,
one would ask,
but-
how was he able to know how they? Obviously, he might see them outside of the church, but I'm starting to understand that he was talking about within the congregation, sitting in the pews,
Right.
half naked or something.
What
Well,
year was that? What year was that?
I think 2018 or something like that, maybe 17.
Was that during the time he was going through the divorce with his wife or the issues with his wife?
Well,
She had clips on when she was on the reality show about supposedly women within the congregation, and he charged it as the women trying to set him up. So I always wondered if that's what that sermon was birthed from. But on the show, she put him out there as being a womanizer. So I'm familiar with him also. But during that time frame when they were going through their divorce, she put it all out there on that. What was the name of that? The Housewife of Potomac.
Potomac.
Go find some of them clips. And his
hold on,
wife.
hold on. So no, I got you.
Yeah.
Showed up on his radar.
I went to his megachurch, the Empowerment Temple in Baltimore, Maryland, to talk about the affair that ended his marriage, disrupted his congregation, almost destroyed his ministry, but changed him as a man and as a preacher. Several years ago, all of a sudden, you're on TBN.
Yes.
And folks are saying, oh, he's the next great preacher.
Right.
You're being called by churches left and right.
Yeah.
And here you are, a young pastor.
Yes.
Thriving, growing church. And all of a sudden, those temptations meet you head on.
Well, I didn't have a litmus test. You have to understand, I was a national televangelist since I was 29. And the whole world had opened up for me. In every stage, I'm preaching in arenas, convention centers, mass mega churches, was quickly becoming a household name. So nothing in my mind ever said, one, I would ever get caught. Number two, that my wife would ever leave. Number three, that my church would tank out.
Walk us through. What happened?
I stepped rolling outside of my marriage and had a extramarital affair that ultimately ended in a divorce to an incredibly wonderful woman, not because anything was flawed in the marriage or in her, but in my own immaturity for the level that I was getting ready to go into. And when that happened, I think I was one of the first, if not the first, I don't want to take the honor, the first real black pastor to go through being castigated over the internet. My oldest daughter is 15. And I had to go to Atlanta, where it is that she lives, because a teacher said something sideways to her. And she was absolutely traumatized. If nothing else, this has been the most humbling process that you got to keep reliving it and explaining it and dealing with it and defending it. And nobody really understands that when you're in that public spotlight, you don't have the opportunity to process in private. So when I went through a divorce, Roland, it wasn't between just me and my ex-wife. It was 12,000 people who were members of my church going through it at the same time, whose heart was broken, whose expectations were absolutely dashed. I had members arguing to protect my name in beauty salons and in supermarkets. And it was one of the most harrowing harrowing experiences of my life. I lost like 17 pounds going through the stress of it. Had to go through therapy for a year and watch my ministry really disintegrate in front of my hands while I'm still trying to salvage what was left of what I was going to do in ministry. And I'll never forget a critical conversation I said to my dad. I said, Dad, you know, this is it. There's no way I'm going to resuscitate. My father was in Los Angeles at the time as bishop over that jurisdiction. Dad, you got to get me a church in California. Get me out of here. And my father, Roland, asked me a critical question. Were you preaching for applause? If you were preaching for applause and for people, it was a performance.
And he's still doing it.
Yep.
Now.
So
Okay, so what was the purpose of that? Listen, let me tell you something.
So let me tell you. No, let me tell you why. Because when he cheated on his wife, it was an embarrassment for his church, and an embarrassment for everybody who's a part of the ministry. You fast forward now, and I'm not saying everybody can say what they want to say about the dress. What I'm saying is, you are what you represent. Now, I'm gonna give you an example. All right, as a man, I love women. Right, I come from a lineage of men in my family. A lineage of men in my family love women, and I just get to the point now. If we can modify the Bible, I just want to be like David. Matter of fact, I don't want Nathan talking to me at all. I don't Nathan, don't tell me nothing about the naked woman taking a bath across the street. Go get her and bring her here. Matter of fact, add her to the concubines, and I need 3 more wives too. See, when you start to modify one thing, you have to start modifying everything. It's okay. If it's okay in some areas to do one thing, it should be okay in other areas to do the other one. If she can go out risque and be a woman of God, because I know what Mary Magdalene would have had. I mean, Mary Jesus Mom would have had that on, what she probably would be fine too. But I'm saying, if a woman is able to go risque and show herself like that and show them curves and fill the minds of men with lust, because men are visual creatures, then if we start modifying, and you open Pandora's box, you have to modify everything. You gotta be fair across the board. So if a man want to come to church in a polygamous relationship, nobody should say nothing if he got 2 women sitting side by side to him, holding his arm in church.
But can I say something to all this? All right, real quick. I think it's overblown when men cheat. The reason why women leave men when they cheat is because he embarrassed her, not because he cheated. His wife left because she got embarrassed. I'm not advocating for cheating. All of us have to make a choice not to do it. But men don't generally get destroyed for cheating, right? I mean, it's not like we all die. I mean, it depends on the guy. Look at his church now. It's probably 2 or 3 times the size of the cheating and it's still there. That shit don't go away.
I disagree.
Look how big his church is now.
I disagree.
And if to say he hasn't banged out some people in that congregation, I'm not so sure. I'm just saying that I think that whole notion that when a man cheats, the whole world falls apart, I think that's bullshit. I think when women cheat, the world falls apart more better because we don't know who the kid is.
I
just want to throw that shit out there. And we take the brunt of all kinds of bullshit, man. Men have been men forever. We're not supposed to cheat because we got to make that choice. But this whole thing that the world falls apart because a man got some side pussy is just the stupidest shit I ever heard.
Now let me say,
do it because we shouldn't do it.
Right now, let me say this. Now, let me say this too, and then Darwin, you can get in and cook and then get JT up here. I'm gonna say this too. There was a time where Jamal Bryant was a thing for him to be able for people to see him in modesty. And and I don't know if a lot of people remember this, but one of the people, he used to date an R&B singer who used to be very risque. And when they started dating, she got modest as shit. She started wearing cover-up clothes. She started wearing the stomach out. She became very modest. If you guys don't remember who it is, here she is. I'm gonna show you who he was dating and how she became so modest and how he looked at her and talked about her.
A year ago, I was walking through Times Square going to an Oprah Winfrey movie premiere, and I bumped into R&B singer Tweet, who is my absolute favorite female singer in the world. Better be. And I took a I pulled the Oric move and asked for a picture. And we have grown into an incredible friendship. I call her my last lady.
Okay, what happened to that relationship?
Exactly. Exactly. And so, yeah, there's a lot, but I did want to get Darwin in here and JT, and I want to play this last video, then we just gonna cook until we end. But I did want to get in Bishop Wooten and what Bishop Wooten, how he responded to Jamal Bryant, because Bishop Wooten just don't care. He's just gonna say whatever he want to say, and I'm gonna play it for you guys. Here we go. Let's see, where is it? There it is.
A preacher presented his wife the other day, and I guess you call that a flesh-colored dress. I don't know. It's black dress and flesh color. It gives the illusion that she's not wearing anything underneath. And I heard the preacher, when he defended her dress, by saying, first of all, he bought the dress. And then he said, I want to address people who don't know anything, who haven't been anywhere, who don't know nothing. So I guess our objection to a man of the cloth presenting his wife in public looking like a $2 whore. Two. At least two. Now, I didn't say she was. I'm not talking about her. My statement is not about her. My statement is about him. I said he presented his wife, and he said he bought the dress. Those are his words, not mine. And there is nothing classy about that. There's nothing modest about that. He said we haven't been anywhere. What I would like to know is where have you been? Where did he go? So I'll make sure that I never go there, because I don't want to go anywhere, and I come back with that kind of a notion. Now I will say this, and this is a comment about my wife, not his wife. This is a comment about my wife. My wife wouldn't have done it.
All right. Now, before we get to cooking, I'm going to do the super chats real quick. We got Prince Antoine in the building, $2. He said, "Is it me or does anyone want to hug those curves?" Stupid. At RC, he says super sticker. So thank you for the $10, man. I appreciate that. We got Prince Antoine again. He said, "Not familiar with the position of the first lady. Can you explain the significance and importance of the role, please?" So we'll let Nikki answer that in a second. We got Ant CEO in the building, $4.99. Thank you for the $5 super chat. He said, "Returning the love." Appreciate that, man. I think that was for you, Darwin. Beachy, thank you, Beachy, man. Me and Beachy had a conversation earlier today. It got really heated about this conversation, man. We apologize to each other though, so we good now. But it got real hot real hot in the conversation earlier, and I'm glad she's in the chat tonight, man. I appreciate it. She said the ladies are on point. Thank you for the $5 super chat. I appreciate it. And so, Darwin, you have something you want to say, then we get JT in here.
So just quickly, I just want to say that we can't run with this narrative that women, or most women, or only reason why women leave a cheating man, a cheating boyfriend, cheating husband is because of embarrassment. When you have the luxury to have consultations, coaching, and all that other stuff behind the scenes, you'll be able to discover patterns. That the reason why these women are leaving, it's not because of embarrassment, it's because the man wasn't a man of his word. And what that does is it impacts.
Was multiple women. It wasn't just one affair. Sorry.
Regardless if it's 1, 2, or 10, him not being a man of his word impacts other layers of the relationship dynamic that's necessary for it to continue to be stabilized, because you can't be a man. I can't trust you. I can't anticipate your actions. I can't hold any expectations. I don't know what you're going to do And that causes a lot of stress and depression on a woman to where she got to go to therapy because she's in her mind like, I don't know what he's doing. I don't know what he's doing. I can't trust him. And how can I trust you with finances? How can I trust that you're going to be a good father? And it has a trickle effect in other areas. And it just literally makes the entire relationship crumble from the inside out. And then whenever you're talking about that meeting with Pastor Jamal Bryant sitting there, I think what that did was him expounding on his affair. It just proves that just because you're anointed doesn't absolve you from the temptation or the lustful desires. Just because you're a man of God and you behind a pulpit doesn't mean that you're perfect. It exposes the illusion of what we pedestalize as ministers in the church as if they are sinless, which is not the case. So we have this expectation that they're just pure. And now whenever something happened, whenever they sin, just like any other human, because the word said all have sinned, everybody gonna fall short. Whenever we see a pastor or somebody behind a pulpit fall short, we're shocked. We're not supposed to be shocked. This man has admitted what he did. He came to he held himself accountable. He expounded on his affair, and he went out there and he did and repented and went out and do it again, just like any other man. So if we're still holding that cloud over him, over his head, when he has asked for forgiveness and repented, how do we expect God not to hold the cloud over our heads when we want to be forgiven and when we repent? So we got to expect that same scrutiny from the Lord if we're going to give it to our brothers and sisters. And I wanted to land right there.
All right, JT, what you got for us, brother?
What's up, man? What's going on?
What's going on? What's going on with you, man?
I ain't seen y'all in a minute, man. Happy New Year. Oh, man. So the church is down bad. Church is down bad. We can't even get someone as Jamal Bryant. I heard somebody speaking about how the traditions are changing and all of these different things. I agree with our pain when he says, are we for real? Because a man want to get some ass on the side that this whole thing is going to collapse. That's not what the problem is. The problem is exactly what Darwin was just saying. He lied, but he did it multiple times. So if this man is a man of integrity that he says he is, he wouldn't have to lie to his wife. He just have to let her know this is how it is. This is how we're going to do this. It makes no sense for a man that's supposed to be held to a higher echelon than the norm to do the same thing everybody else does. Makes no sense. So it gets people to say, well, was he really anointed? And then we have people making excuses. Well, this is what they do now. So that means that everybody needs to go ahead and start doing the hustle again. We had this conversation a whole lot of times where it's like, okay, now it's 2025, 2026, 2027, whatever it is, we can make an excuse now and say those things that we just don't do no more. Not because they were bad or they were unconducive. It's just because it's just new shit now. And this is what everybody does now. So y'all need to get on the train with everybody else. That's crazy to me. It still should be the same thing. There were men of the cloth that had multiple women that didn't have to lie to the other women. Do anybody understand? Do anybody know who Franklin is? Pastor Franklin is? The man didn't have to lie about being with other women. He just had other women, didn't he?
Martin Luther King too.
Martin Luther King. It was a couple of other ones. The thing is that we would make it seem like, and this is why I said we're down bad right now. Men definitely are down bad because they're still lying when they don't have to. You don't have to lie. It's not that big of a deal once you stop lying. Guaranteed. She either stay with it or she can leave. You can give her that option. That's basically what it is. As far as it goes down to his wife wearing that revealing dress, I don't care what nobody say. You can't make an excuse for that. That shit is unbecoming of a first woman. Look at that.
I can't stop looking at the lines now.
That's crazy for us to sit back and talk. No, Because what she did was she made it okay to change the standard. We already have a problem in the church with women coming to church with their damn work clothes on, with their damn clubbing clothes on. So if you wanted to change, wouldn't you as a first lady say, this is how you're supposed to present yourself, no matter if you're in the church or out of the church?
Oh, no.
This is how you present yourself. But if not, then we're going to have the results that we have right now. Somebody got something going on.
I said, I don't know about the work clothes because my work clothes, I ain't have a choice. I was in the military. That was a work clothes. We have police officers.
That's not work clothes we're talking about. See, you thought we was talking about military stuff.
Institution clothes?
BMU, can you tell her what the work clothes is?
Work clothes is, he's talking about, somebody got bad feedback. Hold on.
Yeah.
Hold on, I'll fix it in a second. Oh, it's Nikki. I'm gonna mute you, Nikki, when you're not talking. I think we got JT, I think he got to mute when she's talking.
Let me see.
Mute real quick. Now say something, Nick. Say something.
Testing.
Okay, yeah. Y'all got to mute. So mute JT when she talk, mute, and then when he talk, you mute, Nikki.
Absolutely.
So say less.
All right, go ahead, JT. Go ahead.
I now know what he mean by the work clothes, but again, you guys are out of touch with reality. And the reason why the men are lying is because the women, we're breadwinners too now. That's why the men are leaving. The option is they don't want to give up they good. They don't want to give up their change and their lifestyle. Because we're breadwinners too.
Vanessa.
Has nothing to do with it. Has absolutely nothing to do with what we're talking about.
That absolutely has. That's crazy that they say this.
When a woman has money and she finally gets the guy that she thinks that she could look up to, it's the same rules apply. It don't matter about her money. If the guy's the right dude and he tells her the truth and she still has the same choice to stay or leave.
Yeah.
She has the same choice to stay or leave. They're no different how much money you make. We don't give a shit about your money that way.
First lady. You muted, First Lady.
Yeah, you got to mute.
Yeah.
Well, First Lady, I correct me if I'm wrong. I think I'm trying to be objective about this conversation as much as I can. Just try to understand both sides to it. But correct me if I'm wrong. When you say that women got money now, I'm anticipating or I'm assuming that you're saying the reason why you don't feel bound to the man is because back in the days it was more about survival and you guys couldn't thrive in a society because of unfair employment, being able to make wages and secure individual stability. So now that you're able to do that, you can leave without the blink, whenever you feel like you mistreated, you're gone. And what she's exposing is something that I discovered this year. These are things that I've been discovering, man. I'm discovering a whole bunch of stuff. I had a mental block in front of me. I had an ideological block that wasn't allowing me to see other sides of this argument. And once I start tapping to it, I started understanding it. It is true that the reason why a lot of these women are eager to leave is because they do not have to rely on you for financial stability. So whenever you're dealing with a woman who can get after her own bag, the likelihood of her tolerating mistreatment decreases. It's just a fact. I've actually did the research on it too. So whenever you see a woman say, we got money, I think what she's saying is, I don't need to stay here and deal with it out of survivability. If you mistreat me, I can go out and get my own bag and fend for myself. And I think a lot of men haven't caught up with that. Like I said,
so Darwin,
I disagree.
Where did that? So let me ask you this then: where did that evolve from? From how many years did that was? Give me the time a year where there was times when women just wasn't making money and man was making all the women. And I'm gonna say this specifically, black men, where women were broke as hell and they had to stay with a man because the women wasn't making no damn money. Give me the time frame that was.
I can go as early as the 80s.
No,
early.
Let me tell you something. Hold on. Let me tell you something.
Hey, Nick, you got to mute. You got to mute. I'm gonna let you. Your background loud. Nick. When he gets on,
you don't have to agree with it, but
Because I lived in that time frame.
The 20s, the 30s,
okay, so
40s,
if you did the
50s, the 60s.
No, hold on.
You don't even got to go that far back.
Hold on.
If you look at the wage gap,
you guys don't know what the hell y'all talking about.
Talking about black women.
We do know what we grew up during that time. We do know.
I didn't grow up. I'm 67 years old. You guys don't know what
I beg your pardon. I beg your pardon.
The 80s?
Our grandmothers are older than you are, Kane. Our grandmothers are in their 80s and 90s. They're older than you, so they do know. So they do know. They were there.
The same amount of money as their husbands. And the husbands had to work 16 to 20 hours a fucking week to make the money. But the women made money. Women make a choice to stay with
They did not make enough money to carry a household on their own. They did not.
One mic, guys. One mic.
In the 30s,
I wasn't back there. I was. Y'all just talking shit from memory. We want to go back to slavery and all that other bullshit.
So you're saying a woman in the 1930s and 40s made enough money to carry a household and 8 children on her own without a husband. Is that what you're saying?
If he's the right guy.
Because you know that's a lie.
No, they did not.
That's a lie.
Michael Jordan coming out of the 80s up into the 90s, I think, with middle of second and third wave feminism.
Oh my God.
She left him because the chick called him up and said, "Where's Mike?" And she said, "I'm not taking that shit." And I did that. Carmelo Anthony's wife left him because he got another chick pregnant. He was cheating all the time, but when he crossed that line, it was too much, and I did that. You know, I did that.
So Darwin, hold on. Let's get Darwin. Darwin has something he wanted to say.
Stay with men who have extra.
We got to get DL in here too.
So all I want to say shortly, just because I know everybody want to talk, I don't want to hold the line up. There is various eras, ranging from pre civil rights all the way up until the 80s and 90s. Whenever we got into I think affirmative action came earlier than that. There were events that took place that allowed women to have more leverage financially. And the more leverage a woman got, if you look at the research, but you have to look at the statistics and the numbers based on the women being able to do for themselves, go into college and get careers, not just a regular job. I'm talking about actual careers. It didn't just happen. It wasn't like it's been happening for a while. It's just stuff, we're talking about black women, not women, period. You're talking about black women. They were not able to hit strides financially and survive on themselves until the past 20 to 30 years.
That's true.
But that doesn't say that the black men didn't either. That's my point.
I was asking you a question about women, though. You asked me a question.
No, but I was saying it. Let me just say this.
Absolutely right, but those
he's right, but you don't exclude the black man. What are y'all talking about? It wasn't like black men was having all this money and the women was like, well, I'm just going to stay with him because he make all the money. That was not how that went. Y'all know it wasn't, especially in the 80s. That's when the crack era was. What are you talking about? Black men and black women were struggling. In the 70s, black men and black women were struggling. In the 60s, they were definitely struggling. And at the end of the day, what it took was a family to take care of one another. That's what it took. This was not a thing, because I'm speaking to what First Lady was just saying. That these women finally got this newfound damn money that they got. Now we ain't got to listen to y'all. That's an excuse. That is an excuse.
But it's the truth.
No, it's not the truth. It's an excuse because the men, hold on, the black men were not making money, man. We was down bad then.
I never said the black men were making a substantial amount of money to take care of himself or a household. My argument is not that. My argument is simply, when you give women, it doesn't matter what demographic, in a evolving, liberated society, when you give these women a footing to be economically sound where they can stabilize themselves, they tend to deviate and they tend to be combative.
Yeah, we agree. I agree.
And they tend to go out and do on themselves because they don't have to tolerate BS. They can have, and not only in that, when you throw no fault divorce on top of it, they can just leave off of and not happy.
Let me add something to what
I fuck with you.
As bad as it is.
That is true.
I'm about to land, Pain.
But
let him land. All right. Let him lay.
I mean, I know you
Put my fire out.
Before
you go ahead, Payne. You got it. Go ahead, brother.
I'm saying you're right. I mean, if we say you're right, we understand where you're coming from. But those are the same women clamoring on social media, still pining about the same bullshit about men. Because when they find the men that they want, all the rules of any woman still, they make up their own rules. They stay with those men. And like my man JT said, if those men are telling them the truth and they want that guy, they stick with that dude. Right? And all they say is be discreet with
I got you, TJ.
You know, and I'll just land it there. So you're not wrong, but let's not put these chicks on some pedestal that they are liberated. They still act based on their nature when it comes to men.
Oh, Lord.
Can everybody else mute so out finally?
Yeah, go ahead. Everybody mute. Go ahead, Nick.
Okay.
You up next, and then TJ.
First of all, it is proven facts. It is a reason why we're called double minorities. All right. Women as a whole earn less than men. That's number one. And then when you factor in being an African-American female, we get slighted the most. We got options too now. No, we're not putting up with that. I've been married 18 years. And you best believe my husband and I are going to tell me something and I'm going to stick with him. I'm not doing it. This is my second marriage. I got options too. And I'm not trying to brag, but in reality, because he's a pastor, guess who's the dependent on my insurance? My husband is the dependent, not me. I'm not the dependent. When I would go into the facilities and they would be like, oh, well, who's the service member? I'm the service member. My husband was the dependent. Now that I'm an educator, he's still my dependent because most churches don't pay for the insurance. Despite the myths about people be having the TDJ lifestyles, no. So no, we're not tolerating it. Yes, we do make less money still, but we have our own money. And I make sure that I spend wisely. So if anything ever falls through, my grandmother taught me that. You said, oh, was people doing that back then? Yes, my grandmother preached that nonstop about make your own. My mom preached that. Why? Because when you said, when did this happen? I lived through it as a child. And I witnessed some things and that my mom personally told me from her mouth, things that she tolerated because he was the breadwinner. And she felt like that she couldn't make some things on her own. But times have changed now. Times have changed. And we have to come to reality that we are more educated now. We do have the ability to stand alone and complete our households by ourselves. So no, we're not tolerating that. So please don't get that myth out there. And I hope you're not telling nobody else that because we're not tolerating it.
Of course y'all are. Some women ain't, but yes, y'all are. But I'm sorry. I mean, I hear you and you're making sense. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying you're acting universal, like there's some revelation. Men are men, women are women, and the way we deal with each other transcends time. And women have changed. I grant you that. And y'all want men to be under your control. That's why you made it a point that he's on your insurance that makes him stick.
Amen.
Right? I'm just trying to tell you that, you know, the truth of the matter is when a woman finds the guy they want, I don't give a shit how much money they make. They tolerate whatever they have to keep that dude. And if he's telling the truth, like what JT said, then it's a lot easier because he's not lying to her. And she has a choice to make. Like you said, women have a choice to make, but they still making the same stupid ass choices they made before. That's why they're all over the social media talking all this bullshit. You know, I mean, okay, that's enough for me.
All right, so go TJ, DL, and then Anissa. Go ahead, TJ.
Yeah, I must. You guys just give me a second. I'm gonna say what I need to say, but before I get to that, Darwin, because I'm gonna leave after I get done what I'm saying. Darwin, first of all, I just want to tell you that
before you leave, let me respond.
No. I'm about to give you a compliment. Hold on. This is an aside. What I'm about to say to Darwin is an aside because I probably won't have another chance to say it to him. Darwin, I don't know if you know who we met, but you and I met in the mastermind. I just want to tell you that your growth, I've seen where you were in the mastermind and where you are now. Good shit, man. I just want to. I'm proud that that somebody in the mastermind besides Messy Michonne or whoever has taken their platform, and I saw the different iterations of your channel and what you were trying to do, and you found your niche. I mean, every time I see you now, I'm just like, I was in a group with that dude. I was in a group with that dude. So, and
we were battle buddies.
Yes, yes. So with that being said, we need to dead the income conversation about black men and black women.
Yeah.
We need to completely dead it. And every time we hear another black woman talk about how much money she's making over a black man, if we don't dead that at its inception, because that is one of the most false statements that can ever be put out with. I just pulled up the 2025. We just finished 2025 from the Bureau of Labor Statistics. Black men earn, on average, we're not talking about people's individual, because I make more than that. We're talking about as a group, as a whole, the majority of black men only earn 55 grand a year. The majority of black women only earn $46,000 a year. Ain't nobody, ain't no black man, ain't no black woman in 2026 running a whole house by themselves. It ain't happening. I'm talking about I'm not talking about your individual situation. I'm just talking about we are as a group. Let me point out one other thing, because this is why I'm so sick of this fucking income conversation. The white medium household income in 2025 is $89,000 a year. That is based on a 2-person income. There is no black medium household income because they base black household income off of the fucking black woman, because there are no black family households. So let me point this out. If black men and black women stop being fucking morons, and sorry for all the cussing, if we stop being fucking morons, my 55, your 46 or whatever is 103. We collectively out-earn the fucking white household. But guess what we're trying to do? Our women, I'm trying not to do that because I can run a whole house by myself. No, the fuck you can't. And I'm not talking about your individual, because there are some women who earn a little bit more, but that's not the majority. It's like 9% of black women make over $75,000 a year. It ain't that much money. And we sit around here and we use this money as weaponizing. And I almost hate commenting on a married woman. I don't care when a woman's talking about she got her husband on her fucking insurance. You're supposed to. We're supposed to do this shit together.
Yep.
We're supposed to do this together. It is a crime shame. I'll just land this right here. It's a crime shame. And this is not bragging, I got a 4-bedroom, 3-bathroom house, and I'm not married. My woman got a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom house. We're not married. Do you know how much goddamn money is going out the damn door because we won't consolidate? Because I can't convince, because she's afraid of what happened with her mama and grandmama, which ain't got nothing to do with her.
Dumbass.
So this conversation about, we need to dead the income conversation, because the way we are approaching it, we're losing. We're a bunch of losers.
All right, so
go ahead, Darwin, you respond, and then
I'll be right back.
all right,
Okay.
so here's the thing. I understand what you're saying.
Good shit, TJ.
But I think you took what I said out of context, because the context I was arguing, you can still hear me, right?
Yeah,
you good.
Was in terms in what the women were willing to do at the cost of breaking up the family, from not tolerating a man being abusive or unrighteous to her. I wasn't boasting that black women were making more money than black men. I wasn't saying they was on the same level. My argument is that because $45,000 is enough for a woman to stabilize herself on. if she's not living paycheck to paycheck and she's not being financially reckless. You can do it. You can actually take care of a household you can actually take care of family with it if you're financially sound with it. My argument is that because she's able to stabilize herself financially, she tend not to tolerate the nonsense. It's actually true. Okay. No matter how much you try to bring up a difference in the gap of a salary income threshold, it doesn't matter. It's the fact is that these women are willing to unalive alone than to sit in a house with you and tolerate any BS. They just are. And a lot of women, a growing number of women, are buying cats and dogs. This is something that Kevin Samuels exposed, man, but they were never able to grasp it. They're actually willing to be alone. That's scary, but that's reality. It is nothing you can do about it. The only thing you can do about it as a man is make sure that you're doing right by your woman and that you're maintaining a leverage that gives her an ease of mind of cooperating with you so she can stay in a relationship with you. And if you can't do that, then the likelihood of your woman leaving is going to increase. And I don't make the rules. I'm just giving you the message. That's the game.
Yeah. Well, thanks. That's true. I'm gonna get going. I'm gonna listen to Mr. Saint offline. But Anissa, I haven't seen you in over almost a year. You're still crazy and cute, but that's okay. Mr. Payne, good to see you again. And Black Man Unfiltered. It's been a minute, man. We gotta not make it so long between you guys. It's a great conversation. Hopefully it'll push something forward. And Miss First Lady, good luck. You guys have a good night.
All right, man. Appreciate you, TJ. Anissa, and then DL Saint. Go ahead, Anissa. She's been waiting patiently.
Yeah, the only thing I wanted to go back to the conversation was I looked at the average data from the 1940s, and white women earned annually $827 a year. Black women earned $327 a year. So women, period, absolutely stayed in situations that may not have been the best situations for survival. Absolutely. They were not making the money in the 30s and the 40s and the 50s to carry a household on their own, especially if you had 5, 6, 8, 10 kids. Where were you going and you made $300 a year? Okay, those women had to stay for survival. But as time went on, what I can say for myself is my parents raised me to never be in a position. Never put yourself in a position where you have to. There's a difference between wanting to stay in a situation and you have to stay in a situation. And my parents never wanted me to be in a position where I had to stay in a situation that wasn't a good situation for me simply because I could not take care of myself. And I've never been in a situation where I had to put up with somebody else's mess to have a roof over my head. And I don't think any woman should be in that predicament. And that's the difference that women compared to the 30s, 40s, 50s, and 60s and compared today to today. So, I can live a whole lifestyle by myself before I will allow someone to mistreat me. And that's the difference.
Let me say something to Anissa.
There's a difference between having to and wanting to.
There's a difference between vulnerability and survivability. Back in the days, you're talking about women were vulnerable.
And they needed to
hold on now. Today, women still look for the same 4 P's for men, no matter how much money they have. Protection, provision, problem solving, and procreation. The same 4 P's. It might be at a different level. You might not need to stay with a guy. But the rich women of today still are talking about the same. I can't find nobody that I could look up to, because they haven't realized that the pool gets smaller the more money you make. But they still want the same shit from men. They want men to be able to protect them and provide for them. And, because women by nature are survivalists. It doesn't matter how much money you make.
You left out
There's a big
and that way today. Now, what they might tolerate might change.
That's what we were talking about.
But they still have those same basic instincts of survival.
You are right. You are right, but what you will tolerate when you don't have to
I'll
tolerate
concede
it
that.
is very, very different.
I'll concede.
I wouldn't concede to that because they make this they paint this thing where the men were just that the man I'm sorry Saint, but I'm gonna just say this. They paint this thing where the man was just treating women all bad.
Yeah, that's bullshit.
That's crazy to me. That's not what it was. And it did go to the point of survivalists. At the end of the day, it does change. Because when you trying to compare those days back then to the days now, you can't compare them now because we are lost. Women are lost. And guess who else is lost? Their children are lost because there's nobody to teach the children how to become conducive adults and to be able to do it together. That's why we got all this, I don't need you and all that stuff. That's why we have all of this stuff when the only thing we can talk about is money.
Hey, JT,
how much money I'm making.
JT,
The only thing we're saying, JT, is your grandmother had to stay with that cheating man with the family around the corner. She had to stay.
No,
what we're saying is today we don't have
back
to.
in those days,
No, my grandmother,
they just took the women with them.
No, my grandmother didn't have to.
In the 20s, men wanted to survive. They said, "I'm a."
All right, hold on. Let me jump in here.
Yeah, go ahead, Dio. Yeah, go ahead, Dio.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, man. You know,
What's up, Dio? Hey, what's up, Dio? Say before you go, Dio, BT, welcome to the show. Good to see you, girl.
Hello.
Hi, everybody. I've been listening. I'm not going to interrupt. I'm still listening. I got a point or two, but this is really good. This is good stuff. You all are very organized and got some sense. So I appreciate that. And I appreciate you being you for the invitation and for us like squashing that whole thing. I don't know what happened, but we're good. But I'm going to keep listening to everybody and then I'll just chime in with my little 2 cents.
Absolutely. Go ahead, Dio. Appreciate you, BT.
What's up, man? Well, salute to everybody. Salute to the chat, man. Happy New Year, everybody. 2026 is going just peachy, right? Getting crazy out here. So here's the deal. This is the way I look at it, right? Because a lot of what we're talking about is basically losing our community, right? We've lost it, as a group. And I'm not a very religious person, but I do understand the importance of the church in any community if you want to grow and sustain and succeed. So we started off with the dress. So you got the leader of the church, right? The man who's supposed to be running your church, your spiritual advisor. He got this woman in a 304 outfit. What does that say to all the young girls and all the young boys that are out there watching? Right? Like, this is okay. This is what it's supposed to look like. For those of us who are older, I'm 55. This panel is an older panel. We've been around. We grew up seeing, what did mom look like? What did grandma look like? You know what I'm saying? What did your uncles and pops and everybody, especially on Sunday? How did we look? Right? We looked professional. We looked good. We were proud people going and, to celebrate the word and do whatever. Now, I got my problems with the church. We ain't gonna get into that. But I understood the whole time the importance. So because we've lost our community financially, morally, I mean, look, this is for someone like me to see this preacher with this chick, right? And I'm like, okay, how am I supposed to take any of y'all serious? Look at this. How am I supposed to take you serious? There's no way in hell I even speak to a woman dressed like that. And I see more and more women today out here dressing like this, these young girls. What's the name of the fake doctor lady? Bryant something?
Mm-hmm. Cheyenne Bryant.
She out and about doing the same thing. So that's a huge problem right there. We got to find solutions for that right there. It's a huge problem. And then people were talking about game today, like, relationships and game. Ain't no dudes out here, these young dudes, they have zero game. And for women to sit around and they're saying all these things about guys, they're not talking about the vast majority of men. They're talking about a very small minority of dudes, right? Because especially women with money. A lot of people might not be familiar with the term hypergamy, and it's basically wanting the best, right? You're wanting your level or better. And they all, people say women are all hypergamous. We're all hypergamous. Never in the history of ever has anyone gone out to buy a car and go to the dealer like, I want the shittiest car you got on the lot. Ain't nobody ever did that. Ain't nobody ever gonna do that. I want the best. I only talk to dimes. People get mad at me like, hey, bro, you only talk to beautiful women. Yup. Why? Because she's gonna, you should go over there and talk to that girl. She, you know, that 3 over there. Why is she gonna give me the same shit as this 10? I might as well get the 10. You know what I mean? At least I'm like, hey, she fine. Right? It's the same thing. People don't understand that the game, so to speak, has changed to a point that no one recognizes it. Why? Technology, social media has made it to where people believe they have access to the whole planet, which they do. So like back in the day when we was growing up, man, you was in your neighborhood, you know what I'm saying, your city, your state, your region. Right? If you go think about it, when we came up, just about everybody wound up settling down with probably the people they met in high school, if not college. Right? But whoever you settle down with, they was in the next neighborhood over, maybe the next street over. You know what I mean? Y'all grew up, y'all knew each other. The families were involved, and it was a little helping you decide on who to be with. And then, you stood before your families and God, and you made these promises. Right now, people are like, bro, they looking for the hustle. Everybody's looking for the hustle. The church is looking for the hustle. The preachers are out here looking for the hustle. The YouTubers, I'm looking for the hustle. Everybody looking for the hustle. You feel me? So the game has changed. And you got to understand, as a man, you're going to have to be the best version of yourself to even have a shot. And what the brothers were talking about, R-Pain and everybody else, if the dude is high status enough, women will, in most cases, tolerate a lot more. Now, we're not talking about violence. That's like a different thing. I tell women all the time, don't let nobody put their hands on you. Don't do that. And dudes, don't be putting your hands on a woman and then go sleep right next to her that night. Don't do that. Might not wake up. She might have one of these under the pillow, bro. You know what I'm saying? So you want to be careful. But outside of that, a lot of women today, they don't want to be with the guy that they're probably meant to be with. Use that scale of 0 to 10. A 4 will look at another 4, a woman, and turn her nose up like, I ain't settling. No, that's who you supposed to be with. That's y'all compatible. That's where you supposed to be at. And instead, they're going to say, nope, I'm going to get this 0.0001% man, and he going to be in my life. And I'm like, yeah, that dude might smash you. He might let you do something sexual to him, but he is not going to commit to you. He's not going to settle down at all. It's not going to happen. Money means nothing to a dude who has it. TJ broke the numbers down. I tell folks all the time, they be talking about money. They be talking to me. I'm like, bro, you broke. Talking about you want a chick who's making 6 figures, bro. You broke. It's the same thing to these women. Like, you think you're doing something because you making $75,000 and you've been doing that for 2 years. And guess what? You just got riffed. Elon Musk came in the office with Donald Trump and boom, dozed you out of nothing. Now you working at Target. Right? You still ain't making no money at the real, you know what I'm saying? Like the people who got the bread, it's such a small minority of our population. I want to say it's like what, 15% of individuals earn over $100,000 or more. 15%, and that's just 100 grand, low 6 figures. You start getting into like 2, 3, 4 million, bro. Them people are like ghosts. If you ain't in them circles, you ain't never gonna meet them. You know what I mean? Let alone do business with them. So, and I'll end it with this. I think that we will be able to change all this. The same device that had like social media and this technology, which is brought us, to this point, this crazy, these crazy ideals and all that, it's going to bring us back together. You know what I mean? Say what you want about what's going on with like Kevin Samuels and those other people, those dudes over there in the crazy world of that red pill world, but they got guys thinking, and these dudes are out here doing the work and getting better. Women are out here making money, like you guys say, coming out of college. More women are graduating, they're attending college and graduating in higher numbers across the board. Right, which is cool. They get into relationship, have babies, decide they want to break up, initiate a divorce, go to divorce court and find out that the court doesn't care about gender. They only care who has the money. So now you got women out here paying child support. You got women out here paying alimony, and they don't like it. So what's going to happen? We're going to change those laws. And I think once you make that more balanced, once you take away the state coming in and forcing people to pay money and taking money from this person and giving it to that person, once that goes away, like once you have mandatory paternity tests, once you have mandatory 50-50 custody for people who weren't married, right? When you go into court, it's 50-50. Once you take the money out of it, now the playing field is going to be a little more even. And women are like, all right, if I commit to this dude, if I leave, I might wind up paying. So let me go ahead and commit to my all. I think it's been way too easy for people to get out of relationships. I think we should make it a little harder to get out of relationships. I'm talking about marriage. Or just do away with it completely. Maybe come up with marriage contracts or something like that, where you just sign up for a 3-year term, and then when your 3 years is up, hey, do we want to negotiate and stay together? Like, nah, I can't stand you, chick. You don't even know how to make grits. I'm out. Or you can go ahead and sign up for 2 more years, 3 more years, take the money out of it, and in fact, maybe give incentives to have children. Maybe the government should start kicking out money because we're not making enough babies. And
That'd
I'm done.
be dope as hell.
Well,
That'd be dope
it
as
would
hell if they say my marriage lapsed.
Yeah. All right, Beachy. What's up, Beachy? We got about 15 minutes. So we're going to let Beachy cook. Go ahead, Beachy.
Okay, well, I'll jump in right then. Sorry, is that Mr. DL? Sir, no disrespect. That is the most utterly ridiculous thing I probably have heard through this entire 72 saga. With you all coming with this whole, I can't even say the word dress. I've had a breakdown today. I can't talk about that dress anymore. I won't. I will say that I'm still hearing very little about Dr. Carrie Bryant's character. I have sat on a panel with people giving her false accusations. I don't know her personally, but she is my soror, and I can tell you she has consistently held herself to be a classy woman. She's never dressed it trashy ever in her entire life. We know her. That was unfair for people to try to throw that at her. There have been women who are accusing her of having surgical enhancements, BBLs. That's not true. She has always been a curvy woman, you guys. I can promise you. We can go back pictures we got from her back 20, 30 years ago. She just has a beautiful figure. She has not had children, so I don't know. Shout out to Miss Aries, I think. I don't know if you have kids, honey. I've had 3, and my waistline doesn't do that anymore. Okay, I can't pull that off. I can do a nice little 1, 2, but I can't pull that off. 3 kids at 24 years later, man. I can't pull it off. So she's done a great job keeping herself up. Her clothing line is beautiful. You saw y'all talked about how she got married, so she came in the door stating, "This is what I'm doing. What they doing, that's not my concern." She's already stated she didn't come here to be a first lady. She came to be a wife. She's not with all that church rah-rah. That's neither here or there. McPherson made some very great points. Y'all have been really on point. The money thing, I'm sorry, I'm not going to go too far in it because I want to make sure I get it. One more thing in after I say this. That's not going to happen, DLC, and being that y'all talking about biblically and how divorce works, because they was persecuting me over there for my reasons for not getting divorced, and I was sticking to the Bible because the word didn't say anything about, well, I don't like you anymore, so I'm going to divorce because I don't like your money. It actually tells you to stay in there and gives you very, very little room for divorce, if any, which has trapped people, include myself, into this box of, well, if I don't have sexual immorality going on and my husband doesn't divorce me, then I gotta stay married, or else the church is gonna hang me to the cross and call me an adulteress. So I ain't even trying to go into that conversation because it has not gone well. Nobody wants to hear it. Nobody wants to go over those, really read those scriptures that I'm living by, and that's why my life is like it is. But I'm just following the word. I can't go down there and just say, that's what you mean. So I can't just go down there and say, I don't really like him. I made a bad decision. I need a divorce. I don't have the grounds for a divorce. So I just got to live separate and figure it out, or just make it work with me and the Lord. That's where I'm at with that. So sorry, DL, that's not going to happen. The church is not going to allow that. That's why this is the reason divorce was those laws were brought in, because what the saint was saying, Moses and them people, they were wife swapping, having a change of heart, leaving women destitute because they decided somebody else over there looked better, and it got so chaotic. Moses had to go and write the divorce decrees into the law, and then Christ later came back and doubled down on it and explained, listen, this is why Moses did that, and I'm gonna add this to it about grounds for divorce. And other than sexual immorality, you don't even have one. Even with being married to an unbeliever, I'm not even just can just do what I want. There's rules there. So I just want to make sure you understand that ain't biblically sound, and no one, that's not going to fly. Okay. Lastly, somebody, and I don't know if it was Mr. Saint or Mr. Payne, one of y'all said something about that dress, and you alluded to saying, and I'm sorry the first lady's gone. I want to talk to her too, but we got Aries. That's enough. One of you men alluded to the fact that, well, her dress, I mean, she asked for it. That is a very dangerous, reckless statement to say. Dude, hold
It
on.
wasn't me.
Let me finish. The way you said that, you triggered every woman who has ever heard or been a victim of any type of unfortunate and unwarranted and unpredictable SA assault that somebody came back and later and said, well, what she had, I don't know. So I just want you to think about that and don't be so reckless with using that type of verbiage, because that's exactly what you were kind of, that's what's being said a lot, and it's offensive, it's hurtful, and that's just not it, my guy. So I just wanted to say that, and on that part, I think I touched enough, and I digress.
All right, now, so Beachy, I'll say this. Hold on,
let me just say it
we ain't got
wasn't
time. Yeah,
It
it wasn't
was
you.
not me.
So we running low on time. So lost in translation, we got 6 minutes. But Beachy, thank you for that. And next week we'll have a show, Beachy, where you can come in more early, and we'll talk about what a biblical wife looks like next week. And so I would like to have you back next week to have that conversation. But lost in translation, man, my brother from another mother's in the building, man. Lost in translation, we got 6 minutes left. What's on your mind, my brother?
You know what? I'm glad to be back in the service again one more time. I'm glad to see everybody, man. It's been a minute. Here's my whole thing. I think as men and women, we should carry ourselves as such, and we need to stop making excuses for why we should do things when we shouldn't do things. My whole thing is this: the pastor's wife has a job, and her job is to inspire her husband. You know what I mean? And my thing is, if she doesn't inspire him to be a better man, then she's not in the position that she should be in. As a husband, your wife should be the person that inspires you to make you a better man. And if my whole thing is, if we have to question her, then we certainly have to question him. And I think that's the problem that we are today. We're afraid to call out the things that we need to call out. You see what I'm saying? That's what I look at today. I don't want to take up too much of y'all time because it's the end of the day. But I just want to say I'm glad that we're back in here and we can do this thing again like we need to, and bring some common sense back to the conversation. Thank you, Darwin, JT, Black Man Unfiltered, my homeboy down here, DL Saint, and our pain as always, and this is glad to see you as well. Mm-hmm. And our new guests, glad you're here today. But thank you guys for allowing me to come up. I'm going to take up a whole lot of time, but we got to get back down to the basics of making sure that we take care of our own person and stop relying on somebody else to tell us what we need to do.
All right. Now, when we closing out, I just want everybody to, Darwin, tell everybody how they can reach you. Because, guys, if you're not following Darwin, man, you're smoking the wrong drugs, man. He's really got good content. He's really about marriage. He's really talking about marriage. He's telling men what they need to do in bad situations, good situations. So go follow. So Darwin, how can they follow you? Then we'll go to Beachy so we can see how we can follow her as well. Go ahead.
You just search my name. Search my name. YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. It'll pull up. And just to warn you, a lot of things have changed with me really quick. A lot of things have changed, not for the most part, but I'm more pushing outcomes, desired outcomes, and going after them any means necessary. And if you can't reach it, increase the likelihood of reaching it after you go to the lab and re-optimize yourself. That's the game. That's my ideology, and I call it the money pill. So brace yourself, and I'll see y'all on the next one.
All right, Beachy, Beachy, and hopefully see you a lot on these conversations, because like I told you today, we were chatting it up today that, sometimes opposition is a great part of evolution. I do believe that. And so, Beachy, how can you be reached, and tell them where your channel is so they can follow you? You're muted.
Yeah, I'm BGOA. It'll pull it up. There's not many people with that name. BG, just like it sounds with the B. You put the OA, it'll pull up. But this was good. I know. Look, we're on the third day. This has been a week with that dress, so I can't. I don't even want to put a dress. Like, I got dressed, and this was traumatizing. Okay, and being that when you know a person's character and seeing them being called, put on the whole stroll and Jezebel, when we all know what Jezebel was. And I'm sorry, that ain't, I don't know what Jezebel y'all were reading, but that's not giving Jezebel. We're not seeing hearing fornication. Like, her character really is being assassinated, you guys. I mean, I even heard someone jump on the panel. By the way, non-Christians, I'm gonna say this right now, non-Christians and non-believers need to stay out of conversations with believers. We know we shouldn't be equally yoked with non-believers in the first place, but they're jumping in and they putting 20 on 10. Okay, talking about she's known to get around where. Because there's a whole bunch of us, probably 1 million of us, that's gonna say, "No, we're aware of Dr. Carey, and that's not her story." She don't even have children. She waited and just finally decided that's not for her. That she'd be a bonus mom to the kids, but she doesn't. Motherhood isn't something she's wanted to do. I respect it. She's almost 50. We know her character, so seeing other people come out here and talk about that lady, like a woman who that's some self-control, restraint to make it that far, and she's told many men no to the ring before she finally has agreed to, okay, I'm gonna do it this time. To get that far, get close to 50. We're in the same age bracket, don't have kids, newlywed, and god dang, you want to live for one night and you got gonna put the lady to the cross like that? Let the woman live. That newlywed love, y'all know it hit a little different. Y'all, some of us, we may have forgotten, but that new hit a little different than those of us who've been doing this for so many decades. We just forgot you can come out and live for a minute. Y'all, the woman has been accused of things. I mean, people just throwing stuff out there. Well, she known for where? What men have rose up and said, well, you know, I had a few, that hasn't happened. She's been accused of the dang baby. Where? When did she get that? And when I ask people, do you have any evidence whatsoever and can show pictures that's going to contradict that body from back 20, 30 years ago to now? Because we got them. We got them, and they shut up. Because I'm like, how reckless and loosely to just open up there and say somebody, oh, she had to get a BB. Just awful. And what I said again, and that's my last statement on how y'all got to tread carefully with that. What she asked for, look what she got. You know, y'all say that a lot about things that happen to us, and you all will quickly say, well, what was she wearing, or she asked for? It's hurtful, it's reckless, and I just don't want to see y'all saying that, because I don't know if you're hearing it, but that is what women have been hearing for a long time, and things that they didn't ask for and they didn't deserve based on, well, what was she wearing? Okay, that's really all I got. And I'm trying to follow everybody else on the panel, try to do a little bit more, you know, reaching out to other folks. So I'm searching y'all up. I found McPherson and one of you other guys. I got you, BMU, and I'll find you. I'll search you down, and I'll try to. Hopefully, we can have another day, and I will be back BMU next week, and we can build on some other stuff and get into maybe some biblical things, because that divorce, look, y'all playing being real reckless with divorce now. I'm just saying it says what it says, and we don't have the time for that, but it just don't go. That's not gonna work.
Oh,
I
yeah.
had to change the part
about that, because I completely disagree with her on that one.
So R-Pain, I have it next week for you, man. If y'all not busy, man, please please come back next week. But I did want to get this super chat out of the way real quick from let's see, I think it was one more. Give me a second. Oh, there it is. Prince Antoine says, in states like North Carolina, you have to be separated from each other for 365 consecutive days before divorce may be granted. Maybe it's time for other states to take a look at in doing the same thing. So, I mean, it's I guess it's
that's bad.
Yeah,
that's bad. If a woman gets pregnant while that 365 days of separation, that kid's yours.
Yep.
If your husband,
under most states,
afford to be separate from your woman that long, and she gets out there, she's busting it down, and that kid's yours by law. We need to really look at all of those laws. They're really, really bad. And because women are nice, strong, independent these days, they don't need those laws no more.
Yeah, and did you see?
Sister Beach, I look forward to having this conversation.
Yeah, next week, man. Make sure you come.
I do. I really look forward to doing.
Yeah, for sure. And I want to say this real quick before we get out of here.
I'll go after you.
North Carolina, I think it's North Carolina. I was reading North Carolina, South Carolina, whichever one. They were talking about divorce, and they said now they're ridding themselves of some child support acts. And so now, if a woman leaves a man and they have children, then the father has the children. They're basing everything on custody. So split custody. So if the father has the children for 3 weeks at his house, he paid for them while they're with him, and when she have them, she paid for them while they were her. There is no transferable funds between the two. if they have shared custody.
Especially since they're making so much
we
money.
know how much it costs to raise a child. Yeah, we know how much it costs to raise a child anywhere in America. The Department of Agriculture, they put out numbers every 10 years. You can look it up yourself. And there's, I think we're going to see caps and stuff like that. But I look forward to having a conversation because I'm not in a church like that. But I would never get married by the church. And, and I want to be, there's a distinction between being married by the church and being married by the state. There's a distinction there. And, I stay out of the church for reasons of my own. And I don't knock people who in there, but I stay out of there. But I still do my reading and I know how I was raised. But when dealing with the federal government, we got to change that. And I look forward to talking to you again, sis. It'll be a good conversation.
All right, man. Well, I appreciate you, man. Darwin, thank you for giving us your time, man. Lost in translation, JT, BL Saint, BT, thank you. R Pain, Anissa, always good to see you. She just turned 40 and she don't have no kids either. If y'all looking for Anissa, come and get Anissa.
Happy birthday.
And we'll see y'all later, man. We out.
Later.
Peace.